I think it is moving forward. I think that light has definitely been shone into the dark regions, and it's painful, but it's a necessary thing for change.
You know, I had a whole bunch of weird paranoid suspicions about what the hell was going on because there was a lot of stuff I couldn't understand.
Right.
And nobody was really bothering to explain it to me.
If Bishop Jakes was at a Diddy party, there could only be two reasons: money or sex. That's all that happens at Diddy parties. Money and sex. I hope it was for money.
Charitable contribution.
I hope it was for money, because arguing about who's going to put the strap on that can be a very uncomfortable situation.
T.D. Jakes said there's room for the homo community and the church to coexist as one. T.D. Jakes is nothing but a liar who's doomed for hell.
Why don't nobody ever talk about the fact that T.D. Jakes has an account allegedly on Grindr?
Oh, wow.
Grindr is sex app. It's been around for about 15 years now. It's pretty much where you could put a GPS in an app. So you go onto the app and it uses the location. And it routes you to the account of the man closest to you. And then y'all DM and you decide if you're going to do it at the 7-Eleven or do it at the gay club in the bathroom. It's a hookup site for promiscuous gay men.
T.D. Jakes is widely known for his role as a spiritual leader, his charity work, and his presence in the media. But lately there's been some drama, and surprisingly, Mel Gibson is right in the center of it. Word is spreading that Gibson has said some things that might shift how people see T.D. Jakes, and it's definitely caught a lot of attention.
I know many priests who have been canceled, but not for the reasons you'd think. I mean, it's not like they did a hit-and-run drive and left the scene of the crime or embezzled church funds, stole the altar wine, or committed some other heinous crime. No, not at all. And who's persecuting them? Well, their own bishops. How's that? Yep. Who are they? Well, they're a pack of men who generally passively sit by and tolerate any kind of nonsense. But if one of their priests utters something that resembles orthodoxy, well, then they spring into action, they reprimand him, and they bully him and do their best to cancel him. And it's a symptom of a very deep sickness that afflicts the church. If anyone's familiar with the missives of Archbishop Vigano, he says that the erosion of the church were sown with the reforms of Vatican II, and I agree with him. And how are we supposed to know the good guys from the bad guys? Well, we were given a standard by which to judge them, by their fruits.
When people hear T.D. Jakes' name, they usually picture a powerful preacher whose messages have inspired and helped many. He leads the Potter's House, a massive church with a huge following. But like with any well-known figure, there may be more beneath the surface. Could there be hidden flaws in the image of this respected pastor? And if so, what does that mean for the millions who admire him? Things took a turn when Mel Gibson started speaking out about T.D. Jakes. He made some harsh claims that surprised a lot of people. According to Gibson, Jakes isn't just focused on preaching, he's also deeply involved in the media world. He suggested that Jakes might be more interested in growing his wealth and influence than actually spreading faith. These are bold accusations, especially against someone with such a strong reputation. Gibson reportedly pointed to Jakes' ties with powerful Hollywood figures, suggesting he's managed to move between religious and entertainment circles with ease. From major media deals to big-name collaborations, Gibson believes Jakes is more about holding on to power and status than leading with faith.
No, he came to see me on a rooftop in New York. I said, hey, can I talk to you? And he said, sure. And he floated in, sideways, through a crowd of people. He was wearing black. And it was like one of those old vampire movies where they don't walk, but they glide. And he was a dancer, you know, so he has very, graceful.
Yeah.
And he moved sideways and he just sat down in a chair next to me. And it kind of frightened me. And he's a very smart guy. And we started talking, and I didn't, say much of anything about reading the script, nothing. I just started talking about the Middle Ages. And he began to talk tortures. And we swapped tortures because I'd read this book on torture. And I tried to recall some of the most heinous things I'd ever read in this book. And he was like, oh, and he'd try and top it. And and my assistant was there, and he left because he couldn't stand it anymore.
Yeah.
The air had turned cold. And then he left, and I wanted to leave. And because I knew that I didn't want to work with him.
Yeah.
And he was getting scary.
It might sound odd to connect a preacher like T.D. Jakes with Hollywood's spotlight, but those connections are very real. He's been part of several media projects, including producing movies like Jumping the Broom and Miracles from Heaven, which have been popular with faith-based viewers. He's also worked with big names like Oprah Winfrey and Tyler Perry, helping him gain even more recognition in the entertainment world. While these partnerships have boosted his visibility, they've also led some to question his true focus. Is he simply sharing positive messages? Or is he working to build his personal brand and influence? Mel Gibson seems to believe it's the latter. He's accused Jakes of blending religion with celebrity life, suggesting his ministry might be more about money and fame than faith. Gibson claims that Jakes' strong ties to Hollywood elites are part of a strategy to keep himself in the spotlight. He even brought up Jakes' connection to Diddy, raising eyebrows about who he chooses to associate with. According to Gibson, these relationships are carefully chosen to keep Jakes powerful and relevant. With all of this in mind, it raises a bigger question. Can someone truly serve as a spiritual leader while also being a major player in the media world? Or has TD Jakes stepped into territory that doesn't align with the role of a pastor?
Let me tell you something. That's why people get on my nerves talking about who you should be seen with. I do homeless shelters. I walk in prison ministries. I deal with murderers. I deal with and killers because they're our children, our sons and our daughters. Hallelujah. I never have to justify stooping low. See, they put you in a situation where you can't win. If you hang out with the rich folk, you're snooty. If you stoop down low and get somebody in trouble, you had no business. So I'm supposed to sit at home and do nothing. I went in the prisons. I ministered to the inmates. I've had 40,000 people to go through our Texas Offenders Reentry Initiative and get jobs and be respectable and stand up on their feet. Y'all know what I'm talking about.
Mel Gibson is making it clear that there's more going on with TD Jakes than what most people see. He's not just pointing to Jakes' Hollywood connections anymore. He's digging into his personal and professional life, hinting at a much darker story behind his success. According to Gibson, Jakes didn't rise to fame purely through faith and hard work. Instead, he's suggesting that questionable or even illegal tactics may have played a role in how Jakes built his wealth and influence. There's been talk about Jakes' financial activities and his links to people with shady reputations. While Gibson hasn't revealed everything, he's dropping strong hints that some of Jakes' choices don't line up with the values you'd expect from a spiritual leader. One of the points Gibson raises is Jakes' comfort in surrounding himself with controversial individuals, people whose values might go against what Jakes publicly stands for. He believes these connections are carefully chosen to help Jakes maintain a powerful image in both religious and entertainment spaces. Gibson also questions Jakes' business decisions, accusing him of being more focused on building a profitable empire than leading with spiritual purpose. He claims Jakes is getting support from powerful figures who see him more as a brand than a faith leader. That includes financial backing and promotions from people who may not even care about his message. They just know he brings in attention. What's even more surprising is Gibson's claim that Jakes' fame might not be as organic as it looks. He believes some behind-the-scenes deals have helped push Jakes into the spotlight, while others are left behind. So the big question is, why is Gibson saying all this now? To understand that, you have to consider his past. Gibson has dealt with his own controversies and has spoken openly about the darker side of Hollywood. Some think he sees himself as someone trying to reveal the truth, not just about the entertainment industry, but also about the religious figures tied to it.
It is sad to see. But, as always, I don't think it's the institution that's at fault. I think it's a lot of the people that get in it. And, institution's good or as bad as the people in it running it, So it's having a bit of a rugged time at the moment. And I think there's going to need to be a house cleaning, and it's going to have to come back to...
Mel Gibson says this isn't just about TD Jakes. It's about fame, power, and how far spiritual leaders can go in chasing both. One of the biggest controversies is Jakes' close connection with Diddy. They've teamed up on projects, and Jakes has even been spotted at some of Diddy's private parties, events that many say don't fit the image of a preacher. Gibson believes Jakes is using these celebrity ties not to spread faith, but to boost his own status and influence. This has sparked a storm online. Some fans are upset, saying a true bishop wouldn't be seen in such places, while others think Mel Gibson is exposing something bigger. The main concern is whether Jakes is more focused on building a powerful brand than leading a true ministry. If these claims hold any truth, it could seriously shake the trust people have in Jakes. He's long been seen as a symbol of faith and leadership, but now even his most loyal followers are questioning him. Whether Gibson is revealing something real or just stirring drama, the pressure is on Jakes to respond. Will he speak out or stay silent? Let us know your thoughts in the comments.